Enra, court dismiss letters from the lawyers of AduBoahen. A den na wo letter no. Adenti na court dismiss letter no. Yebekwa kutie the details in the story ya de besom no ene. Na answer na yebekwa the details to that story no. Yeba me bekon ebetna Chief Justice Akonya Kesieso no. Now, in fact, other than some ekopie mu ewo ECOWAS court concerning ekwanya emra ene ne die or my Ghana. At this point, mu ina mahu nipa kra me kan ho asem no. Oka asem bi na eneno I would like to borrow what she said. I say no matter how many noises you make, the law is the law. Na sa asem no, a Speaker of Parliament chire mu complete sa sentence na opese ochire. Said the law is the law. Yentie ye maame a oka said the law is the law. Na yentie the complete sentence from Speaker of Parliament. Ye we are. Me de mako the update in court. Ya court ebo AduBoahen letters letter omode ba no eguye. Ya den na wo letter nim. Na denti na court ebo letter na eguye. Let's go into the story.
No matter how many noises are made, the law is the law. The law is the law.
The law is the law, Ampa. Entienne is the law still the law, Anna. Yentie the complete sentence from a Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana, henceforth Bagwin.
As all, and the law is the law is the law. Those who said, and the law is the law, did not complete the sentence. The law is the law is the law. That is the sentence.
Whenever I say my PENDREAM TV there, I say them yopo.
The Specialized Court 1 of the Accra High Court has stayed proceedings in a trial involving former Chief Executive Officer of the National Signals Bureau, Kwabena AduBoahen, and his wife, pending the determination of an injunction application filed at the Supreme Court. The application filed on August 14th by MP for Ofuase Airebi Oppong Nkruma is challenging a warrant issued by the Chief Justice for the continuation of selected criminal trials during the legal vacation. Legal Affairs correspondent Fatal Bayaga is currently at the Accra High Court and is joining me live with the very latest. Fatal, before we talk about this, though, run us through what this case is all about. Let's get live to Legal Affairs correspondent Fatal Bayaga, who is currently at the Accra High Court for the very latest on this particular development. Fatal, and before we talk about this adjournment, the court first dismissed a letter from the lawyers of AduBoahen. What was contained in that letter, and why was it dismissed?
So standing in Specialized Court 1, Peter Osei Asamoah, who was holding the brief of the lead counsel for AduBoahen, Samuel Atachia, said that he brought a letter, or they had filed a letter on the 14th of August, telling the court that their lead counsel was undertaking a lot of things, and in fact, he made it clear that ahead of the legal vacation, Samuel Atachia had personal arrangements, among other things, and that was the reason he wasn't in court today, and prayed for an adjournment to sometime in October so that they'll return to court for this particular case to proceed. So basically, he said that Samuel Atachia is engaged at the moment and he is unable to come to court to defend his client because of all of these activities that he is doing currently. But the trial judge, Francis Apanga Chibonga, said that he does not have the authority to adjourn this case to October because there was a warrant issued by the Chief Justice, and if he goes ahead to adjourn the case, it means that he has disobeyed the warrant issued by the Chief Justice, and therefore, based on that, dismissed this particular letter.
Interesting. And after the letter was dismissed, the lawyers made another plea, which succeeded. Is that the case?
Absolutely. So on his feet in the same court, Peter Osei Asamoah drew the attention of the court to the fact that Member of Parliament for Oppong, Kojo Oppong Nkruma, filed an application, and in fact an injunction application at the Supreme Court seeking to challenge that warrant issued by the Chief Justice. And based on that, he prayed to the court for the court to adjourn this particular case until the determination of this matter. So when he made that particular statement, Deputy Attorney General, who was there for the prosecution, was on his feet, and he opposed this plea, saying that the mere pendency of an application or an injunction application before the Supreme Court should not warrant or should not, compel the court to stay its hands on this particular case. He says that the judge should dismiss the plea and allow the case to continue.
Well, the court upheld that plea, as you've rightly mentioned, and adjourned the case. What reasons did the judge give for this decision?
The trial judge, Francis Apanga Chibonga, he says that there are two schools of thoughts that determine this particular matter, or that helps judges in determining this matter. And according to Francis Apanga Chibonga, he said, with the first one saying once an injunction application is pending before a higher court, parties or entities should stay off their hands until the case is determined. That's the first one. And then the second one says that, and he says, the second one says the mere pendency of an injunction application should not lead to halting of activities before the court. So he said, based on these two schools of thought, he stands with the first one that says that stay the proceedings, hold the proceedings until the higher court determines this matter. And based on that, he upheld that plea made by Peter Osei Asamoah, saying that the court will stop or would, stop the proceedings at the moment until the Supreme Court on Thursday makes a decision on this matter.
And Fatau, we also understand that Godfred Odame, former Attorney General, was at the Accra High Court for proceedings involving former Chief Executive Officer of the National Buffer Stock Company, Abdul Hanan Wahab. What has he been telling you?
Ken, so Godfred Odame was in court today in relation to an application which is currently before the Court of Appeal. In that application, they are challenging a decision taken by the Accra High Court to dismiss an earlier application filed or that was struck out by the court. In fact, Godfred Odame said that the charges that were filed against his client were fatally defective, and then he filed an application at the Accra High Court. That particular application was struck out, and that's the reason they are at the Court of Appeal. So they want the High Court to stay its hands on this case until the determination of this matter. So they were seeking the court to adjourn the case to a date after the 19th of October when the Court of Appeal will determine this matter. But the trial judge said he made a ruling this morning, and the ruling is that nothing would go on at the moment. No proceedings would proceed at the moment until the Supreme Court makes its decision on this matter. In fact, Godfred Odame argued with the trial judge in court today, seeking to push forward the fact that they wanted the court to make a decision on this particular stay of proceedings application. But the judge said since there is an application before the Supreme Court challenging the warrant of the Chief Justice for them to sit during this legal vacation, it is right for him to wait until a decision is made on that matter. And based on that, he adjourned the case to 25th of August when they are expected back in court. Godfred Odame stepped out of the court shortly after that, and he said that he is not really impressed with what is happening, particularly court sitting within this legal vacation. And in fact, he even made it clear in court that he is not going to come to court next week on the 25th of August. He said he won't show up, and none of his team members will show up in court, as stated clearly in their petition before the Chief Justice. And he was clear that he's not happy with this particular decision taken by the Chief Justice. We can take a listen to him.
Godfred Odame and so ekopiebu ewo court represented a client Hanan Aludiba Abdul Wahab. Na monso omo case no ehon update wo ha. Yenti update on Hanan Abdul Wahab.
We came today was to satisfy the court on why motion for stay proceedings we have filed long before all these controversies and issues came up should warrant the court halting proceedings pending the determination of that motion pending at the Court of Appeal. So And the court indicated that, well, because of the ruling the judge had made earlier in the morning, he was going to first wait until the Supreme Court rules, and after the Supreme Court has ruled, then we come and satisfy him again on the point we are making, that in view of the pendency of the motion filed at the Court of Appeal, he should stay his hands.
But you are insisting that you are not going to be available for...
Yes, indeed, I'm not going to be available. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to be available, and it's in keeping with the position I've taken all along, that we did not attend trials in the vacation, except pursuant to agreement between the parties. Has never happened before. I've been a tenderer, and not even once was any accused person or any litigant, whether in civil or criminal proceedings, compelled to conduct a trial in the vacation or attend trial in the vacation. It has never happened before, so why should it happen now? What was the basis for the urgency? There's no emergency about this matter. The only circumstances throughout my over 23 years of practice that warranted the court sitting were actually in election-related matters. The case Ransford France against the Attorney General and the Electoral Commission 2012, I conducted it together with the former Attorney General Joe Gatti and all. And at that time, yes, we're just 3 months to election, and the Supreme Court needed to determine whether the proposed regulations submitted to Parliament by the Electoral Commission were constitutional or not. And the court heard the application for interlocutory injunction in the vacation and adjourned the hearing of the substantive matter, as far as I recall, to October. So really, these are matters, and of course I've had various other cases as well, and there has never been a compulsion on parties to attend trial. Nothing that it is these traditions, rules and conventions that we seek to protect. It cannot be that it can be one set of rules for one set of people, another set of rules for different set of people. The application we make regarding civil proceedings is one that is not new. Indeed, when I was at Attorney, when matters like the Stormson and all were argued, the court actually stayed its hands. Justice Chibafo of the Court of Appeal all the time stayed his hands whenever an application for civil proceedings was filed in the NCA matter. And so, what is new? I think that we bring unnecessary trouble and controversy to the nation through unwarranted matters. I mean, how can you just fix a trial in the vacation without the consent to the parties? Was it pursuant to the Attorney General's wish or pursuant to the Attorney General's letter? When I was at Attorney General, I wanted any matter to be dealt with expeditiously. The media heard about it. I wrote a formal petition to the Chief Justice. The contents were actually even published and all that. It was never an occasion on which a person was surreptitiously, or as Attorney General, I would urge the Chief Justice to fix the matter for hearing the vacation. So the question I ask myself is, how come this matter has been fixed for hearing the vacation? Was it pursuant to the request of the Attorney General? And if it was not, was the Chief Justice himself exercising discretion without consulting the parties and forcing hearing dates on the parties? That clearly is wrong.
If you don't show up next week, it means that your client may be compelled to defend himself.
I have my doubt that will not happen, because next week, what is for consideration is whether the civil proceedings we have filed at the Court of Appeal should hold the hands of the court. In any event, I'm saying that there cannot be a trial in the vacation. If the court indeed wants to order my client to conduct a case by himself, so be it. And we see the kind of dangerous precedent that will be set in this country. A party has a right to legal representation, to counsel of his choice, and that right is constitutional. It cannot be taken away from a person just by the stroke of the pen of any person.
So your claims here is that criminal matters shouldn't be heard during the legal vacation, but every other trial can proceed.
Not only criminal matters, but civil matters, and that's a long-standing tradition. I mean, point to one case in which a matter, whether civil or criminal, has been tried in the vacation without the agreement to the parties. It's never done. I mean, as Attorney General, I understand the state attorneys actually agreed with one counsel to hear a matter on the 1st and 2nd of August. Only 2 days in the vacation. And after the matter was adjourned to October. Was never throughout the vacation as we see here. So the question I ask myself, what has changed? Are there any set of rules being made? If you want to scrap legal vacation, then scrap it all for everybody. You cannot discriminatorily select about 3 or 4 cases and say you're going to subject them to trial in the vacation. And indeed, all the cases, people made the point that Justice Achibonga has a general warrant, but that is deceptive, because that general warrant is actually for him to sit in the court, and that court deals with only these cases, only these 3 or 4 cases. Beyond that, Justice Achibonga does not conduct any trial in any matter. So the trial, the warrant, with all respect, is limited to the conduct of these matters, and that we contend, with all respect, a discriminatory. It must be, I think that must be deplored.
You have there the former Attorney General Godfred Odame.
Na sɛ wɔyere etu kwan akosua de a ɛno nso bɛrima no gye n'adwuma wɔ hɔ me no nso ɔno nso bɛrima no nso no a wɔkɔhwɛ ne yere ne ne ma no scholarship
and MPP
na scholarship no yɛma no sɛ
obi agye 8,150
pounds a month kwalaa no a yɛkɔtena ne nkyɛn no so gye 8,150 a month ɛna papa no a wɔkɔ so akɔhwɛ ne yere no ne nkwalaa no ama ne yere na kɔ school ɔno nso gye 8,150 a month. Maame ambassador edasi se pepepe ne yemam se dibia ne se mo mfa nkyere
maame no se ha ye ne fie obi anim ne obetima ye
se pepepe ambassador so na aka ne nyina me ehu ne ama ekoso MPP regime.
This woman is working.
Say o hwese ne na maame ne se wo no o kyere ne yemam na hu ne se wo ye serious
mo kwan
na esese ye chiwon na sika no woni tua ni asade won ko prison ya na nye prison keke o odo na nso ye yiri nkrofo ya sa me na kotu bim
nse no with hard labor
asa magabia ka hard labor no a eba so
se mo dodo se
just chama who to me dam 20 years oh
so ni the hard labor ka ho
hard labor no okọ alajo kotigotam
no tranye ye na oye na okona se otefa ho
asa oda bon timi nko
anse mo na ma fa hanko fo ngo mo se
oh uje se prison officer no ade na ekono
e bia kwa adwane
nti e mani nnamu a won papa ja
ye ho no mo yibi so mo nkodo ba ko amba
ena ne je se ja no on de chenchi na mo ne niama no e de ebrodo no e si emfa nkogu ho no ne papa no na be fa ko say high labor ana
so ye be show uniform
MPP4 ene Ghana for a tie ni MPP party dream kata se share project
tro
and tro e bi na expose wo no wa ajiman abu akwa South MP scholarship ona no da no
so a current MP
so a current MP
sitting
MP ofiesi akwa
na so be yes bruta
sakra ya krata eye documents
so be yes
ya de be che onzo de obemba ni picture kire enkwala no nyina picture kire 8,150 pounds
every month
for nipa 4
e da be 5 o se enkwala na 3 husband ka ho 4 so no so scholarship no de ko e
eji se me kwakotra ma me ncha me na ko school so scholarship
and then
MPP and MPP New Patriotic Party now when one can say one baby
na under NDC
ndi na na dan kwa kufu ado no ate ba umi no ate
under NDC na se ahun say letter by krata free by Dr. Kalisius na sign say board of directors ni man who took one say bia ye de ye program bi wo ha ho ani nyina
ya twam me say ya nkra ne be ko India hayi Ghana Commodity Exchange baby am CEO bi am chia no anti when the operation abet
ya mamoko
me chia mu nyina ya me anko ye prosper no by 1 2 3 by ya na letter ne be da so ya me anko na o head way ya ye chief executive ne operations no mo ne accountant no mo ne we no mo ye adwuma wo ho de boa Ghana Commodities a efekeke na madwuma ni improve enso kra no ya me anko
so kwa
pede mbeko for mine
na jomama ba ye cash kra won talk as
dabi
Land Cruisers na Kufa do Giant enu na me edu ba bi kra wo mokwa abontene e ko rent bi e de beso so
enya hu che se hwa Nizai for no money idea ya kai ni nyina. The one the bachelor example no. E ya ban ya said this one dey be bachelor say. Ka we ya na foforo. Enti tese me ahwe. Say e ya ka. Na mom say atisi ka koto ka foforo de ama institutions no money idea na hene wo. E bi ni o.
Cast dada na. Kojubili has
na sebe to me
staff is no cast dada na. You koto ka mu
sebe to me. Ade we ya beto public na no kire yi.
We mo hwe de.
Dey dey twen. Na when you be a tribunal won su. Mogabi. When a tribunal ba won keka mu a.
So
na obi asu.
Omunim de omaye.
Afanya ma kire mu su.
Omunim de omaye.
Kro no kankan we.
De aboboba.
Se wo kwhwa wo yire wa brochire na wa gi scholarship 8,100 pounds.
Metiwe wo de we bet.
Ah my gracious. Afram praise you. Obi ti aboma my gracious.
If it is coming, it is doing. Yes sir.
But about myself, obiti ho. Mogabi, ya kabo myself we free and ya mira kwabo myself. Kanko kamo.
Omu be ko nko.
E free don ko kromu ko. Adia mira obran san wako. E ko si ensuo na no obran san wako. But what he ya sa o yire ko akosua ade. Na me ko hwe no. Na me ba no so me ko hwe no. Na me di so ka ho. 8,150 pounds.
And then maybe say footballers na semenyo no ho ahom no. Yetu omo ma me ne omo yere no omo maka. Bojame.
Attorney General.
Chiwo mo nyina.
We nya de bia ye be ma ho excuse ni abe ho press conference abe kire documents ni kura mazado.
Monchi omo. Depend so.
We nya de ye be set tribunal ansa. We nya de ansa kire chief justice so high court wa now ye kronu dream kan project
criminalities ni too much.
Na ni criminal no ye hu the way be describe criminal no. Ama ye hu
fire chairman yanko.
No na say
chairman of man express.
Mugabe na chairman work say na hwere ni mudua.
O kaniti was say.
Na mo so e dey chairman.
So acting national chairman MPP.
I don't want answer. Do you want to o describe say express road? The edikan so tiemia. Express road no mini be call parliament. Contractor na ye dey man no so no. Contractor ben wo hunu book mu. Na why na tender so? Say o tender so national tender president. Na regional tender regional minister. Na metropolitan municipal tender DC yo. In the tender no yanko we akas nso ni emisa say tambe na nado danko akufu adunya ni so adi hunu car express road.
They are not ready to listen, they are not ready to read.
Tambe no okasa o say bantama empinana o dey say asanso buachi tambe no dey call parliament na ekoso ya say na express road no ya nuanuma soldier for 64 battalions no eti ho engineers no yi kwan no on the ma on mreben na such person ya ka kire wo say o ye acting chairman ana wo ye chairman ya
party ni nijira
na party ni nijira na say no nipa say so be party so am MPP for the ya ka chem say MPP egu a na munyi ntum betime the MPP ni kura ko congress ama ya to aba na who said the presenter ni Jojo no ene ni wo bia no de ma no na such person
say as ni refer say radio so no
na oba no na oni yire ne ma wo fie ye ntufo ana ye nya ne support for makoko
bia o mo ye no kai ma za no ma badwuma
express road we dia bama na nanoma hemfu ba bia ye hiafa Odame na no se kwan ye ko hiafa
asanso bo ati na o ka say ono na de ma contract no according to Dr. Kesela to forcing our parliament was say asanso bo ati na tire krata ko ma president say on cancel sa express road
na obi ehuru asanso bo ati as a ranking member of the how you obi ehun so troko say ehun hia
production team of a year there honorable to forcing the no to so ma misisi ya yetino
issue of the Accra Kumasi Expressway. Let me take my time as Speaker to correct some impressions. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Asenso Boache suggested that the proposed Accra-Kumasi Expressway is wasteful. And that we in the opposition oppose the dualization. Mr. Speaker, that cannot be the case. Mr. Speaker, I was surprised and amazed to see a colleague, member of parliament, particularly an MP from Kumasi, to describe the project as wasteful. Mr. Speaker, an MP of which the road is leading to his constituency will say that the road is wasteful. Mr. Speaker, to the extent that the said MP wrote to the president to say to the president that don't do that project. Mr. Speaker, I am surprised. I am surprised. I am surprised. Mr. Speaker, I'm surprised to hear that. And so, Mr. Speaker, let me say this. Let me say this. Let me say this. That this road from Accra to Kumasi is more than a road. It is opening up a country. So for an MP from that constituency to write and to say that the road is wasteful and we should not do it, and write to the president that the president should not do the project, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, it's untenable. Right, Honorable Speaker. I want to put it to him, if I wish he's here, for him to say it, that if he has not written to President John Mahama, saying, Mr. Speaker, I'm not alleging, I want him to prove it. Mr. Speaker, I want him to first deny here so that I can provide you evidence. Mr. Speaker, he did not only stop there. He went on to describe the road leaving Accra to Kumasi, the first expressway of its kind, as wasteful. Mr. Speaker, it can't be wasteful. Say expressway. Let me take my time, Mr. Speaker, to correct some impressions. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Asenso Boache suggested that the proposed Accra-Kumasi Expressway is wasteful.
So, that is evidence. What average of family and Niger? Say what they know, Hokoi. So, you know, the Fatay.
And now, yes, Sumanians and Indians, man, I'm wanting. So, should you pay you better than we say if so your acting chama with new patriotic party, national chama? Now, who say, Party no good. Party near Nunyam. Now, sir, Usha Sansubuache, Krata, or Troy the Koyen, I suppose a year chama a year. And was it? Poto.
And I say, a year chamata, you are what?
They say now, can anyway. Express road. Kumasi to our contract. And the MP Nedima contract. Me say, I'm going to contract. Something also can say. Mr. Francis, my body pedi was also friend. Francis, one other minister for Rosa or the woman in my contract. Modema contract. What are my contractor? What are my contractor? Why? I'll go by interrogating. I want you interrogating the way is in everything. But you are lying. I'm not lying, please. No, Chairman. That is why. Listen, anything a matter of listen. There be another review who say me no kasa radio. So we are radio so now we kasa. Do you get it? And a Ghana na yes. What I know and I make a show. The woman is one. And then nipa no kasa asem natural, Mr. Kobi se mu biem ansa na bia wako kan baby. Say express road. MPP na Accra to Kumasi. Yes. Hey. Menka say mo ye do a carriage from Ahadi Amasama Road you menka sao the new express road. I don't know you can't as one can slow on here. Mr. Busasu Fredo. Oh, the number Fredo. I don't know Parliament can still out down Fredo as I saw you on the end of the contract. Fredo. I mean but there's a secretary say Batman Pia Catro, the former road minister, yes. The former what's the housing minister Catro say express road. When is all could never because on Cabibia Sancho chairman a ye mount. Oh, sir, because you need evidence I remember on Tessa and Pauna can reach him. Why are you doing this?
Na indi wakache mi
can't afford to baby out the party na
because I'm trying to run as a lane and now me try to picture I'm from no chose see wakache mi as I know I did I didn't need probably bad babe mama will be this on the boy I don't mama I'm a quarter day
and the moon I'm not monkey can say to them
say I didn't mama
prayer ball no na pa ho sema aduonum enso 57 minutes past 4 ye temako sise no sia bebo e be so amanumre no sia kase ebo ene wukwada August so mene de to so dumienu on fimpimienu ne aduonum nsiem no ye de abrɛw na ya hwɛ nsema wodo a ene koso na ne nyina no ye bebo awuram ye be hwɛ de koso scholarship secretariat rot ye koso under MPP term Ghana High Commissioner to the UK ye mame her excellency Zita Benson lawyer akasa afiho na said the be amanfo bete nsem na se yi no otafrija so obepese yi be si nsem no so amano na watumi abibie mu yie ho kakra asane ya the substantive issues no so ene awie nti boye krado a mama ya mame Zita ne video no ento so ma misisi am ewia na de akari na ato amoso
Ghana Scholarship Secretariat, all these, and if you see the rot in this, you will be amazed. All these are scholarship documents that I received from the Ghana Scholarship. Look, I cringed reading these documents. I cringed. The rot that happened under the former registrar. This particular one is one woman gets, I don't want to mention names.
Okay.
I'll say princess.
Poor and needy people.
No, they are not. Name princess. She gets a scholarship. She goes with her children, 3 of them. Ajovi, Akosia, Asiye.
The children are also awarded scholarship?
No, they are paid to come and stay with the mother to study.
Why?
And the spouse, the husband.
Is that how it works?
That is how Kisilajiman did it.
Is it legal?
I have no idea. And so this one, for instance, she has 3 children. She gets awarded a master's degree program. She gets paid for the master's program with stipends. Her husband gets paid to come and support the wife to study. Together with their 3 children. Together with
support us in how?
That's a baby. Is a baby also a scholarship student? That is the awardees' children. That's the husband. That's another child. And I'll tell you, they pay their airfare. They pay their
taxpayers' money.
Yes. So for the 4, their visas, yellow fever card, tickets comes to about £90,000. And every month, the 3 children, the husband, everybody, each, not all of them, each gets £8,160 for supporting the mother to study. Do you think that is fair to the taxpayer of Ghana? And that is why NIB must move fast and make arrests and make people pay for this. People must refund. If you get a scholarship, and you think that you are a wife, and you are not ready to move away from your husband or your children, then stay in Ghana and study.
There are other universities.
Why should my taxes be paid to take care of you to come and read MBA in London?
When we have universities that can
come and read MBA. When you are coming, you bring your whole flock, including husband in tow. And the question I asked is, were the husbands not working?
They come I'm not PENDREAM serious. Now, so far so good. Set up the online portal in Ghana. Now, Nipa share, Nipa follow, Nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.